One more. One more. Beautiful. Good. Let's take our time. Let's just set it up even calmer. As he comes. There you go. Good. Beautiful. One more. There you go. Beautiful. That reach. And any time you move, that should be that. That should be that. Yeah. And then the controls down the middle. All right.
Yeah. That's what
control smooth. Relax.
Anthony Joshua is training relentlessly for his fight with Jake Paul. Episode 1 of All Access drops you straight into the heartbeat of a real heavyweight camp. Not the glossy highlight reel. This is the grind. Netflix is streaming the build-up to the Jake Paul showdown, and from the first frame you feel how seriously AJ approaches this moment. When Joshua walks into the gym, two things hit you instantly. 1, he is massive. 2, that size moves. He isn't built for show. His muscles look like tools forged for purpose. Explosive, responsive, tightly packed beneath skin stretched over a fighter who still moves fast. The episode focuses on those quiet moments where he checks his shoulders, rotates his hips, and throws a slow shadow punch. That slow punch is anything but slow. It's rehearsal, rhythm building. There's a reason his strength and conditioning take center stage. You watch him lift ridiculous weight 1 minute, and 2 minutes later he's on the pads making tiny technical adjustments with his coach. That contrast becomes the episode's defining thread.
With AJ from his Instagram on Saturday night, right? And he was like in with, was it Skins? I think. Skins. Yeah. With two girls, right? Going, great to be out at the gym, enjoy. You know. So my mate sent me a message going, "Are you happy about this?" Right? Going, yeah, I know. Yeah. He goes, and I was quite surprised. I was like, "Oh, he didn't stop saying how tired he was the other day." Do you know what I mean? So I sent him a message going, "Not too late, please." Yeah. And he comes straight back with a picture of me on the couch going, "This is me now, don't worry."
The good thing is though, if people are like from his camp, they'll be naive enough to go, "Oh, he's out and about." You know what I mean? Like, he didn't take it this seriously. You got to tick all boxes with boxing because it's physical. So you got to do your strength conditioning. You know, you got to have strong legs. That's your foundation. You got to have good core, which is important. You got to have good stamina because you want to be working, exploding on your opponents. It's the first one to get tired. You break your opponent down, and when he starts getting tired, you pounce on him. The most important is the training with your coach and the sparring. When you've got your strength, your legs are strong, your core strong, you're fit, you then go and work on your technique and how to...
The pad work feels almost meditative. AJ's trainer calls out combinations, and you can see instincts sharpened by thousands of repetitions. You also notice the subtle adjustments, a tighter guard, cleaner angles, constant reminders to stay relaxed until the precise moment he needs to explode. Pad sessions are where raw power gets shaped into intention. The episode makes it clear that the mission isn't to look strong on Instagram. It's to convert all that mass into single-shot force while maintaining balance and endurance for 8 grueling rounds. Netflix's coverage highlights how deliberate every drill is, from exploding off the front foot to resetting the guard with precision.
There you go. Good. Beautiful. Pop that long one too. Up on your show. Good. One more. One more. Beautiful. Good. That's what we've got to bring him on to. Nobody can take them. Who can take them? Nobody. Yeah. Downstairs. Beautiful. Good. Set him up again with that feint. Breathing, feinting. That's it. Nice and calm. Beautiful. We go with that 1-2 again. There you go. Beautiful. As long as you do the timing on it, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Because early on, if you look for power, you waste energy. Exactly. Then that power evaporates. When they're tired, you ain't got the power to take them out. So you got to open up in the gap for no reason. So just relax, flow.
Just pop off
good
that
feet,
reach.
you were saying.
Just pop off that reach. And any time you move, that should be that. That should be that. Yeah. And then the controls down the middle. All right.
Yeah. That's what.
Sparring in the episode feels like a masterclass in controlled chaos. Every veteran knows sparring is where humility collides with reality. AJ rotates through different partners, some to test his speed, some to mirror awkward southpaw angles, and others simply to force him to absorb shots and keep his chin tight. It's intense, but always measured. The coaches clap often, not for praise, but to flag the tiny corrections they want burned into muscle memory. When he eats a clean shot in practice, it's studied like a chess mistake. How did it land? What telegraphed it? Fix it. Move on. Repeat. That iterative cycle is what converts raw ability into fight night execution. The episode shows those intimate moments, breathing heavy and tapping gloves after rounds, sharing a quick word with a partner, and feeling out the ring beneath his feet. Heavy bag sessions are where the episode lets you hear AJ's engine at full volume. He hits hard, but never recklessly. The bag becomes both a metronome for rhythm and a mirror reflecting his intent. There's a clear cadence, double jab, stepping body shot, whipping right hand. He attacks the bag the same way he plans to attack a real opponent, with weight behind every punch, torque from the hips, and a deliberate plan to carve angles. You also see him shift intensity. Sometimes it's a 3-minute all-out blast to spike lactic acid and force his body to keep producing. Other times it's micro-adjustments, testing foot placement or wrist alignment. Heavy bag work becomes relentless training for accuracy under fatigue, and the episode captures the sweat, the grit, and the razor-sharp focus perfectly.
The heavy bag in camp. Will he become a 3-time world champion?
There are quieter moments where AJ sits between rounds, steadying his breath, oxygen mask on, heart monitor blinking like a warning light. You immediately feel this isn't a celebrity training camp. It's surgical. The show even leans into the pressure of the timeline. Since his knockout loss in September 2024, fans have wondered whether this AJ is the same fighter, and whether he can flip the narrative. He's been grinding to answer that both publicly and privately, rebuilding, rehabbing, and retooling wherever necessary. Netflix captures the internal stakes, the need to rewrite his story while preparing for a high-profile, high-risk showdown. Away from the ring, the conditioning work is the part most viewers overlook. Sled pushes with a weight vest, uphill sprints, awkward object carries. These sessions look ugly, honest, and brutally demanding. They build the kind of engine that lets a heavyweight move like someone 50 pounds lighter. In one montage, AJ fires off explosive medball throws, then bursts into a short ring sprint. That pairing of strength and speed is what lets him keep his size yet still dart, pivot, and recover in a single breath. The episode emphasizes how carefully his team manages the workload, so his mass becomes a weapon, not a weight. There's also strategy talk. This isn't a 12-round title fight. It's 8 rounds of 3 minutes under full professional rules, with 10-ounce gloves. For AJ, that means a different pace and a different mindset. A shorter fight demands urgency, so every session prioritizes sharpness over slow-burn endurance. The show even lets you hear coaches discussing round management like they are diffusing a timed device. You feel that urgency in every pad session and sparring exchange. Then come the human beats. AJ jokes with a sparring partner, teases his strength coach, checks on family between sessions. Netflix doesn't include these to soften him, but to show the purpose behind why he fights. He's a competitor chasing legacy. The episode ends with him stepping back into the ring, gloves up, breathing smooth. It's the kind of cinematic beat that makes the camp feel bigger than physique shots and highlight clips. It's preparation led with intent. What you see is the portrait of a heavyweight with the frame of a colossus and the discipline of a craftsman. Every drill, every thudding back shot, every small correction is a brick placed for one night. Netflix gives you the backstage view, but more importantly, it shows the work being done both when the cameras are there and when they are not. And that is the real hook. You watch force being shaped into precision, and you sense that on fight night, AJ will bring far more than just a big frame to the ring.
Last minute, mate, that'll do you then. Uppercut. Good. Right hand. Good. 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 Left hook high. Good. Uppercut high. And again.
Meanwhile, the boxing world is buzzing with predictions about the upcoming fight. David Haye, former heavyweight champion, told Sky News that Jake Paul will be putting everything on the line stepping into the ring against Anthony Joshua, the 6'6" Brit and 2-time heavyweight title holder. Early odds paint Paul as a heavy underdog. It could be his last day on earth, Haye warned. He is genuinely concerned about Jake Paul's chances against Joshua, calling the fight risky enough that it perhaps shouldn't even happen. I hope there's a referee who's compassionate, Hay said. If Jake Paul gets pinned against the ropes while Joshua unloads, it could be the end for him. On the other hand, Louis Dakin, president of the Association of Ringside Physicians, told USA Today Sports he has no safety concerns regarding the 8-round bout. Jake should be considered a significant underdog, but he has real skills, and AJ is slightly past his prime, Durkin said. It should be a good match, and I think there's a strong chance it goes the distance. He added that some of the safety debate is rooted in disbelief that a YouTuber could rise so quickly, but when evaluating both fighters individually, it doesn't reach the level of real danger. Whether Paul deserves the shot is a different question, Durkin emphasized, but it shouldn't be confused with safety concerns. The fight announcement stunned Jake Paul's family, revealing just how monumental this moment is. Over a series of FaceTime calls, each family member reacted differently. His mother, shocked, said, "No. Oh no. Are you crazy?" before brushing her arm in goosebumps. When Jake asked if she was scared, she admitted, "No, I'm terrified." His father, Gregory Paul, initially laughed. The heavyweight, "No way, dude. Are you serious?" But he quickly offered support. "What's the world gonna say when you knock him out? Because it's gonna happen." Jake responded confidently, "I know it's going to happen, too," showing he believes he can shock the boxing world again. His brother Logan Paul was left stunned. "Holy, let me just take a second," Logan said, later adding with a mix of fear and excitement, "Is this guy out of his mind?" Fans online mirrored that same mix of shock and anticipation. Jake Paul is no stranger to high-risk matchups. He defeated Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in June despite the former champion being 39, and outpointed Mike Tyson by unanimous decision last November, an impressive feat considering Tyson was nearing 60. Still, this bout against Joshua is an even bigger leap. Towering and powerful, Joshua has knocked out elite fighters like Vladimir Klitschko and Alexander Povetkin. Saudi boxing chief Turki Alshik stirred conversation by openly saying he wants Joshua to defeat Jake Paul. He described a knockout as ideal, warning that if Paul somehow wins, it would signal Joshua's decline and merit a formal ranking for Paul. Alshik is confident Joshua can finish the fight decisively, while noting uncertainty if anyone like Edgar Berlanga could match that same impact. Analysts largely expect Joshua to secure a swift victory, possibly stopping Paul in the first round due to his size and power. However, rising heavyweight Lawrence Aoli believes the fight could last longer, cautioning that if Paul lands clean shots early, the dynamics could shift and make for an exciting contest. Regardless, facing a former heavyweight champion has earned Paul newfound respect from fans and fighters alike. In a viral YouTube clip, Logan asked Jake incredulously, "Were you on cocaine when you called out Anthony Joshua? Why did you do that?" Jake's response was direct, "So I can be the heavyweight champion of the world. His chin is gone, but is still Anthony Joshua." Logan shot back, "Is stiff, no rhythm, no skill, just power." Jake calmly replied, "Exactly."
It's crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation.
By defeating older, smaller, and less experienced opponents, Jake Paul has built a 12-1 professional boxing record. But his next challenge, Anthony Joshua, is a significant step up. What rules will govern the showdown between the outspoken 28-year-old and the two-time heavyweight champion on December 19th? Key details were disclosed in a press release. Above all, it will be a professional heavyweight bout, officially recorded on both fighters' records. Nikisa Badarian, co-founder and CEO of Most Valuable Promotions, confirmed that Joshua's weight will be capped at 245 pounds, and the fight is scheduled for 8 3-minute rounds. Earlier this year, Paul outlasted former WBC middleweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. over 10 rounds, and his previous bout against Mike Tyson stretched a full 24 minutes. On fight night, both men will wear 10-ounce gloves, the same size Joshua used when defeating Francis Ngannou, Vladimir Klitschko, and other elite opponents, signaling that both fighters intend to take this fight seriously and aim for a knockout at the Acacia Center. Since his knockout loss to Daniel Dubois in September 2024, Anthony Joshua, now 36, has been absent from the ring, vowing to make a massive comeback against Jake Paul. No Macy. Joshua said in a press release on Monday. "I took some time off, and I'm coming back with a mega show. It's a huge opportunity. Whether you like it or not, I'm here to break records, have big fights, and stay cool, calm, and collected. Mark my words, you'll see a lot more fighters take these opportunities in the future. I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's face." Dana White, CEO of the UFC and Zuffa Boxing, has had a rocky relationship with Paul and suggested that a heavyweight legend might be the perfect opponent to halt the YouTuber's boxing rise. "Oh Jesus, that's a bad idea," White told reporters. "But let me tell you, a lot of people will watch it. Everybody's tuning in for what they've been waiting for." Crossover bouts are nothing new to Joshua. Last year, the British heavyweight brutally defeated former UFC champion Ngannou in 2 rounds. Now, he aims to atone for his 5-round loss to Daniel Dubois while reigniting his career with a potentially lucrative fight against Paul. This bout sets the stage for a February fight in Saudi Arabia and perhaps a showdown with Tyson Fury later in the year. The problem child faces a chorus of critics eagerly anticipating the moment the 28-year-old might be floored by one of boxing's most feared punches. But Joshua has remained measured, avoiding public criticism of Paul's boxing journey. Unlike many traditionalists who scoffed at Paul's rise from YouTube stardom, AJ has expressed respect for the way Paul carved out a name in the ring, starting with aging MMA veterans. Paul ended 2021 with a knockout of Tyrone Woodley, marking his second victory over the former UFC welterweight that year following a win against Ben Askren. While some praised the decisive KO, boxing purists questioned the legitimacy of the Disney star's professional career. Joshua, however, took a different stance. For years before agreeing to face Paul, he defended the YouTuber, insisting that his involvement would ultimately benefit the sport. "He's great for boxing," Joshua said in a TV interview. "He's throwing himself in the deep end, with zero amateur experience. He'll probably learn more than a lot of fighters, putting himself under pressure. Good luck to him." In response to critics of his record and choice of opponents, Jake Paul arranged this blockbuster clash with former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, setting the stage for one of the most talked about boxing events of the year.
They said, fight a real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of
Originally set to face Gervonta Tank Davis, a much smaller opponent, Jake Paul now found himself stepping in the opposite direction, toward Anthony Joshua. At his peak, Joshua ranked among the elite heavyweights in the sport, boasting a string of high-profile victories. Paul fully acknowledges the risks of facing Joshua, who represents his toughest challenge yet, far beyond the retired UFC fighters and journeyman boxers that make up most of his previous wins. "I'm facing a legitimate heavyweight with one-punch knockout power," Paul said of Joshua, the 2-time world champion and Olympic gold medalist. He added, "While he was winning Olympic gold, I was filming Vines in high school. AJ is a knockout artist. His fights have ended in seconds. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little scared." Paul also addressed the promotional side of the fight. "And yes, little Josh is signed with my enemy, Eddie Hearn. I know Eddie and all of you naysayers are saying I wouldn't take this fight. Talk is cheap, my friends, but guess what? You're not alone. My friends and family couldn't even believe I was taking this fight." The Paul vs. Joshua matchup was arranged on short notice after his scheduled bout with Davis fell through. About Davis, Paul said, "Here's the truth. He had a past with many arrests and accusations, but everyone has a past. We accepted that. But when domestic violence is involved, you are out. Period." Gervonta fumbled the biggest opportunity of his career and damaged a relationship with one of the biggest streaming platforms in the world. Despite fully understanding the potential danger, Paul insists he is ready to shock the world. "Make no mistake," he said. "This is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something no one else has done before. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua live on Netflix this December 19th. The American has always been a polarizing figure in boxing. Since the rise of influencer boxing early in the decade, Paul has established himself as a legitimate professional fighter, even if opinions differ on the effect he has on the sport. He has faced criticism for primarily taking on retired MMA fighters and, more recently, former professional boxers. His only professional defeat came against Tommy Fury in February 2023, which, considering Fury's age and weight, stands as Paul's toughest challenge to date. Heading into the December 19th bout in Miami, Paul is naturally cast as the underdog. Yet glimpses of his sparring sessions with a WBA-ranked heavyweight have turned heads. In a training clip ahead of his fight with Tyson, Paul landed a crisp overhand right that staggered his sparring partner, DeAndre Savage, then undefeated at 10-0. Jake caught me with a clean right hand. I went down to my knee and got back up. That was it. Savage later told pro boxing fans. Now, the problem child finds himself moving back up to heavyweight to face a two-time world champion, setting the stage for perhaps the boldest moment of his career.